Hello, and welcome to the Piss and Vinegar page. This is Mike. Piss and Vinegar channel, I should say. Let's talk about mobile vending and being successful year in and year out and what that takes. Typically with mobile vending, now I'm talking everything mobile vending from food truck, hot dog cart, food tent, cardboard box, but whatever it is that you personally sell out of. How to be successful year in and year out. Now, successful is really up to you to define what successful means. My definition of successful is probably different than your definition of successful. So, let's get into it. Finding set locations. That's very important. You need to try to find a location, an established location where you can get repeat business, whether you're set up 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, doesn't matter. You need to have a set location so you can get that repeat business and people know you're there. Year one is always very difficult and it's very hard to find those set locations. And sometimes that's why people, it takes them multiple years to be successful, because that first year is so hard because you're trying to determine everything and you're going to have losses and you're going to have bad locations. So to recap that, finding a set location is very important for mobile vending. History of events. Another reason why it takes people years to be successful is because you need to look at the history of event on what it did last year and the year before and the year before that to determine if that's an event you want to continue doing or not. Diversifying your product. It's very important that you diversify your product to fit the needs of whoever you're selling it to. Sometimes you get into a festival and there's already 3 hot dog guys there. Do you really want to try and compete against 3 other hot dog guys and battle it out with prices and stuff? So being creative and coming up with different menu options so you can be very diversified in your food sales. In order to beat the competition, that's what you're going to have to do, because there's going to be many times, particularly if you're on a circuit, excuse me, where you do different fairs and festivals and community events. Chances are there's going to be sold products there. So instead of just coming in with the same old thing that everyone else has, get that creative bone working, people, and diversify your food product. Weather, the great equalizer. Weather has so many factors. I mean, I don't know how many of you kettle corn people have worked a 100-degree day and then been on top of that kettle where it's been non-stop busy. I have. And I've had heat exhaustion. I don't think I've had a heat stroke, but I've definitely been sick more than a few times from cooking over that hot oil and selling kettle corn. Now, I don't have an automatic stir like a lot of kettle corn people have. I just get into it and get right on top of that oil and stir it, burns and all. That's just me. I'm crazy like that. But weather, you can look at another factor with weather, your history of events. How did the weather play a role in your sales that day? Could that event have been awesome had the weather been awesome? Or something like that. You must also take into account of cost of travel, setup, lodging, gas, food costs, it's labor, etc., to see if an event is worth really traveling to. If you've never done an event before and you want to travel to it, make sure you do your due diligence and find out what that event did. Prices of your product are very important. This is an ongoing debate all the time. Should someone be cheaper than the other guys? Should you be more expensive than the other guys? And there's great schools of thought to both of those. I tend to not lower my prices if I'm competing. I tend to leave them the same as the other guy. Maybe sometimes even be just a tad bit higher to give that perception, even though we are better, I want to give that perception that we are the best. So if people say, man, you're a dollar higher than that guy over there, I'm like, well, you got to pay for the best, man. That's what it is. We're not going to shortchange ourselves because that guy's cheap. No, we are the best, and we charge accordingly. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Keeping a log. Now, I didn't do this my first year, and I should have, but I've done it from year 2 to now I'm in year 6. I keep a log of what our gross sales were for that day, what the weather temperature was, and if it was raining. And that will always help me determine if I want to go back to an event or to help me purchase product year after year, because I'll have a basis to go off of, and I'll generally know what I'm going to make for that event. Of course, there's 100 different factors that can determine how good it was advertised, how many, for me, sports teams are going to be at that tournament. There's so many different factors, but at least it gives you something to go off of. Research your events. And I mean due diligence, exhaustive research. Find out how many vendors are going to be there. What is the expected attendance? The history of the event. What has it been attendance-wise in the past? Is it a long-standing event or a new event? There's a lot of things to research, and you must do your due diligence if you really want to make the amount of money you think you deserve to make. You also must be able to break the code of coordinators. What I mean by that is, if you talk to a coordinator of an event and you say, well, how many people were at it last year? Oh, we had 20,000. It was great. It was wall to wall. We only had 8 vendors and everyone left happy. You have to break that code. 20,000 probably means 10. So take that into consideration. That's all I have for today. Enjoy your day. Please like, subscribe to the channel, share the channel, and please have a discussion with me in the posts down below. Thank you.